So today's video is going to be a GoPro polework video, and there will also be clips of me tacking up both Luna and Leah, who I rode that same day. So I hope you enjoy the video and you find it interesting to kind of see how they both ride and a little insight into my day. So as you can see, I'm just setting up the poles for the exercise that I was planning on doing. So I'm just walking the distances in between each of the poles. So I did 4.5 heel to toe for the trot poles to accommodate both Luna and Leah, and then I did 9 heel to toe for the canter stride because that's what I normally do for Luna. So yeah, I'm just checking that they're right, and then I wanted to add some more poles to it. And you'll see in a bit, it was really versatile, the exercise, but I'll kind of speak about that when I get onto riding. But I got a package from Equilibrium, which was very, very exciting. So opening that, and then I wanted to make some of the poles raised. So I just got out these DIY pole raisers that we made quite a while ago actually. Basically they're just blocks of wood with cut out bits of guttering on top just to keep the pole in place. So that's what I just did, made some of the poles raised, and then now I obviously move on to tacking up Luna, so getting her tack out of the tack room, which is not the neatest at the moment. Well, actually it's not too bad, but yeah. And then I was actually riding her in the hackamore today, so the BITLESS bridle. I did used to ride her quite a lot in the bridle, but then because Dora was using it, she needed a different headpiece, she needed a smaller headpiece, so I kind of stopped using it for a while. But I've put it onto a new bridle and I'm going to be using it a lot more often, especially when hacking. I don't think I need a bit when I hack, so yeah. So it's pretty self-explanatory, but I was just taking Luna out of the stable because she was actually stabled all day today and didn't have any turnout because the following day we had a lot of rain, we had torrential rain, so the fields were extremely wet and slippery. So we just thought it would be better to leave them in for a day, let the ground dry up a bit, and turn them out the next day, which we did. So I'm just taking off her magnetic chaps because obviously when she's stabled for long periods of time, I like putting those magnetic chaps on just because it stops her back legs either swelling or getting stiff, because obviously the magnets increase the circulation on her legs. So they're the Equilibrium magnetic chaps if anyone's interested. I do have a code, but you must know it by now because I keep saying it. And I'm just picking her feet out, even though she has nothing in her feet, because obviously she's just been standing in her stable, and giving her a quick flick over with a brush. You can see I didn't groom her amazingly, because look at her, she's a grey, she's minging, she's just going to go outside and roll in her stable, sit in poo. So just do the basics, brush where the saddle and the girth sit, and brush her mane. She was sticking her leg up in the air there because she is a mare and she has tantrums when she doesn't get her way. But yeah, she needs a cleaning because I've got a competition on the weekend, so needs to be clean for that. And then I was just tagging her up, so putting her saddle pad on, and then I think I hold up the VIP in the light because I think I'm cool. You'll see it in a bit. I think I'm oh, this looks cool. Yeah, there you go. Which it did. I'm actually really happy I got it in that blue colour. And then I put a saddle on. The only thing annoying about these types of poly pads is that they don't have those girth straps. So yeah, putting that through. So lots of people actually asked me where those stirrup covers are from. So they're from Refine at Equine, and we bought them last year at Olympia, I believe, and they're really good because they've just got a fleecy back to them, which stops your stirrups scratching your saddle, because if you spend a lot of money on saddles, you don't really want your stirrups scratching them. And then I was just putting the hackamore on, so because I just fitted the hackamore piece onto the bridle, I think I just had to do up a couple of holes because it was quite low on her nose at first. So I think I did up 2 holes either way, so it fitted really well. But other than that, it's just me putting on the bridle. So onto the riding, I walked her around for quite a long time, just where she'd been standing in her stable. So obviously just getting her legs warmed up to reduce chance of injury. And then you can just see me there give her the inside rein. And then when I started to do a bit of trot, I did a lot of long and low trot. So basically just giving her head and allowing her to trot around the school so she relaxes. And because I hadn't used the hackamore in a really, really long time, so obviously I wanted her to get used to it as well. And I didn't really want to fiddle a lot. I just wanted her to just trot round in a nice rhythm at the beginning of the session. So I think it's really important that I do this for Luna, and you'll see in a bit where I kind of let go of the reins, not literally obviously, but give her the rein so she can just stretch forward, because she's quite a naturally tense horse, and when I first got her she used to carry herself really, really tight and compact, and she's already compact as it is, but she kind of just brings herself into a little coil. So obviously I kind of want to lengthen her neck out and, you know, let her ride into the bridle and relax into the bridle. So that's what I'm doing here. She's obviously got her head low, and it also just means that she can develop the correct muscles as well along her back. So now I'm just moving on to going over the trot poles in the corner, just to help her with her balance, stop her falling in, and just helps her move around the turn a lot nicer in the trot and keeps her rhythm. So I'm coming to it again, and that was it's really interesting to see her trot over poles from a GoPro perspective. And I think I give her a canter swing. And it's really bouncy. Like, you can just see everyone who rides her says, "Molly, how do you sit to her canter?" Like, it is extremely bouncy, and you can just tell from this GoPro video just how bouncy and uphill it is. Like, you can see she kind of wanted to go off to the right then and change the rein, but just had to keep my outside leg on. But she's just, yeah, very, very bouncy and expressive with her motions. And I was just going over this pole. I think she actually jumps it, because can Luna canter over a pole correctly? No, she can't. Well, she doesn't jump it like jump, but she doesn't put minimal effort into it, that's for sure. And I was going over this one, again, changing the rein. Bruno always gets in the way. Over trot poles again on the other rein, because it's really good and important to keep things equal. So this exercise that I set up today was really random. Like, I just kind of put poles wherever I fancied, in all honesty, and it was really versatile, which was good, because it meant I could like go you can see there's a little cross there, so I could go through those poles to keep her straight, or I could go over it in trot. I could either then go off to the left or the right there, or canter over those poles, and you'll see me doing a lot of transitions. Because her worst transition is going from canter to trot, because when I come down from canter she kind of just gets slightly heavy in my hand. Like, she's quite a light horse in the mouth, but that's the only time she can just lean a tiny bit, but I didn't really like that turn, so I did it again. So I just came round and kind of prepared for it a bit more. It was a lot better. Well, riding wise it was a lot better. And then do I go off? No, I don't. I go straight. She was actually quite straight. This is me saying hi to Bruno, who is sitting in a very inconvenient spot. I think I do a walk to canter. Yeah, there you go. Walk to canter. Her transitions, upward transitions, why can't I speak? Are really, really good, and yeah, can't fault them. And I was cantering over this, and I come back to trot. As you can see, this is our kind of area of weakness. She just gets a bit fiddly. And then over the poles, just to keep the rhythm after establishing trot. It's quite good to do that actually, because if her transitions are really bad, go from canter to trot, and there be poles after, just so she can get back into that trot rhythm without messing around. So again, did it again. So just getting that trot rhythm again, and then I went left, I think. the idea, so changed up a bit, and cantering over, doing a bit of lead changes. See, there's so many ways you could do this, like the list is endless. And I think I was going over this one because you could do like a little figure of 8 over these. And then I went over the poles in the corner because, again, downwards transition, you can see it took a while to come back to trot, and then it was like, oh, the poles are right there, so that was a bit dodge, not gonna lie. And then getting her straight and coming down this way. Do I canter here? I do indeed. That was quite cool. So yeah, it was good to do loads of different transitions with, because obviously you can either do upwards transitions or downwards transitions. And I was doing in a circle, which she kind of jumped again. Love that, it's so fun, I actually love it. And then cantering up here. That was a long shot, Molly. And then back to trot, if we can. Oh yeah, so that was our little flop, because obviously I don't want to just include the good moments. I did not get her back in time, and she just kind of hopped over the trot pole. So there's me showing you another way you can use the exercise by, you know, doing transitions through the poles as well, and then going off to the left or the right. Luna didn't actually knock that pole, Bruno sat on it, but she knocked this one. So this is our little fail of the session. Basically, this is where Luna has a tantrum and decides to just hop sideways. I just got to sit there and ignore her. And then when she's finally stopped having a tantrum, restart. But yeah, basically she just caught it with her back leg because I turned her, I was trying to go back to the other trot poles, and she didn't realise. But I just obviously walk her off and give her a big pat, and that was kind of her session complete. I don't think I did too much, but now I'm obviously just untacking her. Luna's really annoying when I take her bridle off, because I'm about to put her head collar on and she always just literally forces her head through the nose bit of the head collar and pulls me down, but she's obviously got quite an itchy face, so I get that on because she's very sweaty behind her ears. Put her back on to the cross ties, and then I'm about to hose her off because she got quite sweaty after I take off her tack, that is. So I go and get an apple for Luna because she's very, very good, and then in a bit you'll see me putting wound gel on a cut that Luna inflicted upon herself. I don't actually know how she manages to cut her back leg so many times, but she does it with her own legs, so yeah. And I've kept it clean, and I was just putting some gel on it. You can't really see it, to be honest, but it was quite deep. So the day I filmed this, I also rode Leah as well. This is just because I was trying to get her fit for the weekend, because I had a competition on her. We've just come back from the show and she won both of her classes. So that is very, very good. She was an absolute star. So I was just doing a bit of pole work with her again today as well. So Leah's actually really funny when you take off her head collar and put her bridle on, because she's always, since the day we've bought her, which has been 8 years, she's done these weird mouth exercises before we put her bridle on. So she just crosses her jaw and yawns, and sometimes she will smile, stick her tongue out. It's just really, really weird, and I've never seen another horse do something quite like that. So we're coming to the end of the video now. I hope you liked and enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and help us get to 10k, as well as like and comment on the video. This is really funny because it's just me forgetting that I actually filmed on the GoPro and I'm just shaking a tree to get the apples down. But yeah, thanks for watching.